Hey, welcome to Buff's Garage. That's right, I'm back on the family farm. I'm gonna give Mom some help working on her Land Rover. Land Rover's a bit, out of my ballpark here, but then again, I am driving this 2023 Ford F-150 thanks to Enterprise Rental Car. We're gonna tackle the brakes on her Land Rover, get her back to stopping again. Not going, stopping. That's right, we're gonna get her back to stopping again. Yeah, and once I get that going, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to figuring out what the verdict is on Vantana. I also need to move some vehicles off the property due to that whole, I only got 10 days to move them or they get crushed. Obviously, I've gotten a little bit of a leeway with that, but we are moving them and I'm gonna move them on this episode, so stay tuned for that. And remember the free GTP, the 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP supercharged car that a subscriber just gave to me? Yeah. We need to take a look at that one too. I don't want to hear anything about it being too new. This video got views, 2023 Ford F-150. You guys watched that, right? I appreciate you guys watching. Now let's get to fixing cars. Let's fix some cars. Do you want to fix a car? You know what that sounds like? Do you want to build a snowman? Do you guys like mashups? You take this song and you put them together? I've kind of been getting into it lately. I think it's the TikTok trend. The TikToks are kind of penetrating my brain, and with that makes me want to mash things up. So I guess we'll do a collaboration with someone real soon. Let's watch for that. Not in this episode. Maybe? I don't know. Stay tuned. Today on Buff's Garage, we're going to tackle the front brakes on this 2009 Land Rover LR3. The front brakes are starting to squeal. We know that it needs brake pads, and we're going to check to make sure we don't need rotors as well. So follow along as we tear into this Land Rover and get this thing stopping again. Now, usually I say brakes are for quitters, but in this case, this is all about safety. This is my mom's ride, and I want to make sure she gets to and from where she's going safely, and of course stops when she gets there. So anytime you're working on a higher end vehicle, like a Land Rover, these systems have electronic suspension that adjusts depending on the road conditions or your road needs, whether that's off-road, snow, sand, whatever. So you need to be able to turn that off before you go lifting the vehicle, or that system gets really confused and starts acting up on you. So with the suspension up, we're gonna go through and get all the lug nuts loosened. Unfortunately, the last time she had this service, she took it to one of the name brand places, and for the most part, those places are okay. Typically, this is where I feel like they mess up. They over torque the lug nuts. These things should be tight enough that the lug nut doesn't back off. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't need a breaker bar to get them off. Yet here we are. Way too tight. All right, we got the over-torqued lug nuts off. The wheel is free. Rotor doesn't look too bad. So now we'll go through the process of disassembling the caliper. And when we do that, we want to make sure we don't have to re-bleed the brakes. So Mom went to go find brake fluid, and she pulls this out of the cupboard. I think it's probably been here a while. Where is it? Oh, right there. Kansas City, Missouri. You guys remember this stuff? And if so, what year do you think this is from? It's probably still good. Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's still clear. It'd probably work. So I went ahead and pulled the old pieces out here, put the new ones in. You know, these old brake pads don't look bad. I don't think they're that bad. I'm not sure why they were causing problems. We've got the new ones, so we'll replace them and then at least rule that out. Okay, I got the new brake pads in place. I got the caliper all lined up, so we're gonna get it all put back together. We don't know if this is the source of her squealing noise, but what we do know is that it's gonna have new brake pads. So maybe investigating the other side will tell me more, but so far I'm not really seeing anything that would raise the alarm as to what's making this noise. Now, obviously, she spends a lot of time on dirt roads. Could be dirt or rock or something that was in there. There's not one now. I don't know. So I'll keep looking and maybe find something. Now, I don't want you to think that my mother's the kind of person that would ask me to help her with something and then turn around and just leave. No, she's working harder than I am. She's dealing with maintenance on a farm and taking care of trash. And honestly, if I wasn't shooting a video, she'd probably be right here helping me. All right, everything's tightened down. torque to spec. We got one little wire here that actually, I assume it's some kind of wear sensor. I'll show you. It actually just kind of lodges right into there and then goes back into the system, and I have no idea what it does. I put it back. Hopefully that wasn't the problem. All right, one down, one to go. So over here on this side, same issue. Lug nuts were way too tight. I had to use the breaker bar to get them off. You want them to be snug, you don't want them to fall off, and these lug nuts had no chance of coming off. But here's the rub. My mother is in her 60s, and while she is a healthy individual, very strong, definitely able to work with heavy equipment, run chainsaws, do all of her own maintenance, I'm just honestly just here to help. The one thing she would likely struggle with is trying to get these broke loose on the side of the road, changing her own tire. So don't over torque them. Otherwise, you'd probably be doing this on your own, wouldn't you?
Yep.
I just showed up.
What I don't get is where that plug-in went in.
It goes, well, it's not even on this side. It went right into your brake on that side. It doesn't even have one over here.
Wow.
It had a little piece of metal that went into that notch. And so I put it right back where it was, but I have no idea why there's not one over here now. I don't even know what it's supposed to do.
Downhill descent.
No, I think it's honestly supposed to tell you something about the wear. I don't know.
I wasn't very smart of you to do that to your hair.
Oh, no, I do it all the time. When I dump transmission fluid, I pretty much have figured out that's the best conditioner there is. It just smells bad.
Yeah, it does.
Took transmission fluid bath. All right, one of the things I want to address. So this is the bolt to remove, to take this caliper off. You're gonna need a wrench. So what I ended up doing was I'd put a wrench right here, and I put my socket and ratchet on this one. And that was how I loosened it up, and that's how I'm gonna tighten it back up as well. And it's the same on the top and the bottom. If it's not coming loose or you can't figure out what's going on with it, this is what you need to do, is you gotta put that wrench on there and then grab it with the socket and the ratchet. Now before you go blowing up the comments about turning the rotors, changing the rotors, anything to do with the rotors, understand that that is a lot more involved process, and I was changing the part that seemed to be the one most likely to need change. So now we're gonna put the wheel back on, torque everything down, take her out for a little drive and see if we've solved the problem. And yes, you can take it to a Land Rover dealer. Good luck finding one anywhere near here. Add into that you're gonna pay a lot of money just to put it on the rack. I don't usually like to just throw parts at things until we figure it out, but in this case, this is what I was asked to do, and you don't tell your mama no. It stops. It's not squeaking. There's no way I fixed it.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, I pulled up at somebody's driveway, I turned around, I hit the brakes, and they go, "Ah! Ah!" We're not the squeaky anymore.
Well, apparently we did the right thing, and we stopped the squeak.
We sure did.
Not sure what we did, but we stopped it.
Because, listen, you hear a squeak?
Nope, no squeaks.
I don't either.
Perfect. Well, you know, you've had a hard working day when you got dirt all over you at the end of the job, but we got the brakes working again, and the brake pads are definitely better than they were, and she said they're not squeaking, so that's all a good sign. Now to figure out why the tire pressure monitor system's lighting up. We'll figure it out. So part of the problem of being gone all the time is you then become susceptible to thieves, and in this case, I have my car hauler here. They lifted the trailer up, took the wheels and tires off both sides, even the lug nuts, and then bolted. So I'm here at a local tire shop in Burlington trying to get my tires mounted on the rims I just picked up at the honey hole. You gotta love the hidden honey hole for just what you need, right when you need it. He seems to always have it, and the price is right. Again, thank you all for subscribing and being a member of the Tappy Tap Club, because thankfully I had just enough money in the old account to get the tires on the trailer and put me back in business to start moving cars. Maybe I should find something that we can put these babies on. What do you think? as much as I wish I had my own tire machine and could do this myself, and of course I could always drive an hour and a half over to Dalton's in Missouri at Pole Barn Garage and use his, but I've got things to do. I've got stuff I've got to haul, and I'd like to do it today and tomorrow. The only way to do that is to have tires on the trailer. These guys dropped what they were doing literally lunchtime. They dropped what they were doing, threw these tires on like they're doing it right now. I just rolled up. So I want to thank Bar Tire in Burlington, Kansas for helping me out. The price was right, and of course the service was excellent. So thank you guys. $500 later, we've got rims, tires, and lug nuts. And we're gonna put them on the trailer, get this thing cleared off, and start moving cars. Knocking them out. I at least coordinated and put the gray ones on that side and the white ones on this side, and we'll eventually paint them to be some kind of uniform color at some point. Now I just got to strap everything down and get this load hauled out of here. And then we've got one more, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. All loaded up, ready to make the first drop. We'll come back and start loading everything else. Made it to the storage unit, so we'll get all this unloaded, and then I'll have an empty trailer to put something else on, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. And that's the beauty of four-wheel drive. Even with the rear drive shaft ejected, I can put it in four-wheel drive and load the truck. So here we go. You know, it doesn't squat it that much. Way to go, Ford. I gotta give you this one. But Avi's loaded. Gonna get the tie downs ratcheted on. Give it one last pull to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then we're gonna move the Avi to another location. That's not going anywhere. New tires are holding up. So the Avalanche made the trip. Tow rig's doing great. Thank you, Enterprise, for providing such a quality vehicle. So now I'm going to unload the Avalanche, find a good spot to park it. Looking at the rear end, once got it up on the trailer, it definitely looks like there's something going on with the actual axle housing. So it's probably not a tear down and replace job. It's probably a tear out and replace job. We'll get it off the trailer, get it parked, and when I got extra time and money, I'll come back and dig into it and figure out what's wrong with it. Excuse the noise, it's harvest time in Kansas. But I'm back on the family farm with the free GTP, which apparently the back window that was so beautifully taped up is no longer up. The 90-degree heat melted the tape that was holding it up, so Mom so graciously taped a trash bag over it, which fixes the problem. So today, let's just talk about the free GTP. So the free GTP came into our life. A YouTube subscriber was trying to find a YouTuber that wanted to restore this vehicle, bring it back to life, and get it back on the road. It is a fairly pristine specimen of a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP, which is the supercharged 3800 in the front. But the car sat for quite a while. There was concerns about transmission issues and other things. if you go back to watch the video, you'll see that I raised enough money to jump on a bus, go all the way down to Texas, revive the car, drove it 500 miles home after it had been sitting. So now the car's still been sitting because I needed to get the paperwork done on it. I needed a title, I needed to get it tagged and registered, and I need to get it insured. And I know a lot of guys just don't do that, they just drive it and risk it. But I actually like this car and I really don't want it towed. We got some 1990s vintage tint that's turned purple. This seal here has popped out, and of course we got the typical bake on the clear coat here. But I think my sponsor Poppy's Patina can actually help me scuff this up and try to bring back the original paint without repainting it. I don't think they can fix the taillights though. We might have to do something there. But the point is, we're gonna get this thing running, take it out for a test drive. Seriously folks, look this up on Amazon. I've got an Amazon link in the description. Get one of these. This is the HD. They do have a regular smaller one, but since I never know what I'm going to be jump starting, I got the big 2000 amp one. These things are amazing. Comes with a flashlight. You can charge your phone. Right now, after we let this air out, we're going to use the jump pack to fire up the car because it's been sitting just long enough that it barely turns over. So I'm just going to give it a little extra juice, fire it up, take it for a drive. And wouldn't you know it, my mother, always thinking of me, got me a present. Thanks, Mom. Ow, ow, that's hot. Folks, it is hot. It's really hot. It is hot in Kansas. 110 heat index today. Awesome. Wow. Still looks good. A little dusty. Let's juice it up. And just like that, it's going good. The light's on. That means it's boosting. Oh, sorry, deer whistles. Key. All right, that noise is the air conditioner compressor, which I was going to work on, and I may end up having to replace it. Oh man, I think we need to fix that. Not sure what I got to do to get in there and do that, but oh, we don't want that. There's another one. No wasp. Let's see if this window works. Oh, thank goodness. Yep. It's a little dirty. Mirror fell off, but I think we're good to go. All right, success. It's back up and running. Obviously it didn't take much, but I'm making sure everything still does what it needs to do, because we got some work to do on this baby. When you're a little dehydrated from all the work outside, we're going to try a little liquid IV. It says you should put it in a 16-ounce bottle of water, shake it up, and it should help you hydrate. But I don't have any water, but I do have a strawberry monster, so it's strawberry. Let's try it. Oh my goodness, we overflowed it. Well, I think it's well shook up now. Let's give it a try. Little gritty on the first drink, but tastes a little salty, but it's extra strawberry, so it's pretty good. I do the no sugar version. I just don't like to drink my calories if possible. So Monster, you might have something here. Partner up with Liquid IV on their strawberry. Put it in your strawberry energy drink. Let you know if there's any untoward side effects. Well, the local O'Reilly's here in Kansas did not have the part, because who would carry a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP driver's side rear window regulator? What's crazy though is I have the passenger side front for a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix regulator in my garage right now, but I don't have the driver's side rear, so it happens. It's always the part you don't have that you need. In this case, I have duct tape. We'll fix it for now with duct tape and motor on. Man, it's busy even here. We've got to find a home for Buff's garage. But thanks, Mom, for letting me use your shop. Okay, guys, so I know I'm going to catch all the hate for talking about a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix. I mean, this is not a classic car. It's not one that you're digging out of the field to get running, although I did do a revive and drive on it. It was more about the adventure, taking the bus trip down there, hoping the car would run and drive, driving the 500 miles back. That's more of what this car was about. But I want to give a shout out to that special subscriber who gave me this car. Clay, I appreciate you, but it's time to start working on the GTP. If you guys don't want to watch that, I get it. But think about it. I'm looking at moving to Oklahoma, and in the state of Oklahoma, this car qualifies as an antique. That's right. I can put an antique plate on this car. It's crazy. I could do a whole video on this antique Pontiac right here. They don't even make Pontiacs anymore. Come on. Like, let's be clear, guys. Pontiac is no longer in existence, and this car is now an antique according to the state of Oklahoma. Let's see if we can fix it up and make it fast. It's already got good bones. It's got a 3800 V6 that's supercharged, and if you haven't looked at the aftermarket on these things, there's a ton of stuff we can do. It's all spendy, so I'm looking to you, Holly, and whoever else out there makes quality parts for this car. We want to do some engine work, getting it running on all 6 cylinders, because it ain't doing it now. We want to beef up a transmission. Maybe not this transmission, but I know somebody with a few extra, and we need to take one of those, get it rebuilt and really built, throw it in here, send this one off, get it rebuilt, swap it back in. I need to fix the paint. There's no major dents or scratches or gouges on it yet, but we need to shine it up, make it look good. This car deserves the full treatment. And yeah, I know it's not an old classic like my 63. And we're gonna get back to her, but the free GTP needs some love. Just know, if this is not your cup of tea, I get it. But think about it. How many times have you watched Cletus or anybody else who's got a Crown Vic? Those are newer than this, and they were everywhere and they were cheap. Heck, now you can't really find a Crown Vic. They're gone. Cletus bought most of them and you all bought the rest of them. Good luck finding a rear-wheel drive car like the Crown Vic to go play with. So guys like me, and I'm looking at you, Kevin, Junkyard Digs, we played with the Grand Prix. Yeah, he smashed them all up in this Grand Prix, but he gets it. They're cheap, readily available. Everybody seems to have one that they've either junked or are about to junk. Whatever, who knows? The point is everybody's got them. And now I've got one, but I've got the fully loaded one. 3800 V6 supercharged. It needs a party pulley. It might need a cam. It definitely needs a tune. We've got lots of stuff we're gonna do to it. It's not as cool as the old stuff, but again, Oklahoma says this is an antique. And I don't want to hear it's not an old car and it's not a classic. It is, in fact, an antique. I'm gonna tag this as an antique. It qualifies, so we're gonna do it. We'll start working on it, but that'll be in the next episode, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching Buff's Garage. I know this episode was a little bit of fixing stuff here and fixing stuff there and transporting stuff from here to there. I'm still waiting to find out about Ventana, and I know you are too. So thank you guys for watching Buff's Garage.